Welcome to today's session with Dr. Lisa L. Campbell. Before we dive into today's topic, let's quickly go over a few housekeeping details. Throughout this session, you can send in your questions using the chat feature, and we'll do our best to address them. If you're interested in staying updated on future events, be sure to follow Dr. Campbell on all social media channels using the handle @Dr. Lisa L. Campbell. To contact Dr. Campbell outside of this event, simply scan the QR code that appears on your screen. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce our host, Dr. Lisa L. Campbell.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's session, our 30-minute growth session, where we're going to focus on self-care. You work too much. If I had $1 for every time someone said that statement to me, today I would be a millionaire. No matter what setting I'm in, I'm often faced with the question, are you working today? Are you still working? You're always working. Do you ever get any rest? The mere statement literally causes me to have to do some deep breathing because I have to stop and ask myself, is the individual truly concerned about me, or is this really about them? Some people don't get my work ethic. They have what I like to call the 9 to 5 mentality. And that's okay if that works for you. But no one ever asks me, how can I help? You seem to have a lot on your plate. How can I lessen the load for you? Instead, they always ask, are you still working? Tonight, we're going to be talking about self-care. And in preparation for today's presentation, I actually sent a text message to 20 men that I had in my cell phone. And I want to share with you some of their comments because I have to be honest. I was very surprised. As usual, guys, if you have questions or you want to comment, feel free to type in the chat. So the first man says, I do a massage once a month. First of all, I was surprised that this person does it because I didn't think that they were going to pay for a massage because they're a little frugal with their money. Another gentleman said, I have a small group of guys. I communicate with them on a regular basis, and I also believe in spa treatments. I intentionally didn't ask women because most women that I know will say they go to the spa, they get massages, hair, nails, eyebrows, eyelashes, all the things. So I really wanted to just understand what men do. Another man said, I get massages, I get manicures, pedicures, I treat myself to a good meal, and then I do different activities like bowling, skating, reading. I was loving it. Another gentleman said, maybe once a month, I go and get a pedicure. Another gentleman, I was really just digging his response. So he said, my self care is going to the barbershop, getting a manicure, a pedicure. Sometimes I need to just be alone. How many of you who are here today oftentimes are in a state of mind where you just need to be alone? Type me in the chat. I'm going to type me for myself because there are lots of times where I need to be alone. And it's where I have an opportunity to do two things. Number one, I need to brain dump everything that's going on in my mind, right? Just to get it out of the way. Number two, I don't know about you, but for me, I need some time to cry. I need some time to reflect. I need some time to release. Now, I happen to be on the phone with a colleague of mine, and this was a woman, and she mentioned that sometimes she just goes outside and literally screams to the top of her lungs. Now, I've done that in the house. I might be a little afraid to do it outside, but I bet you it's pretty freeing. So, all right, so back to the men. And there's a reason why I am highlighting men, but today's topic is going to help everyone. So, this gentleman said that, manicure, pedicure, sometimes I need to be alone. I'm praying as I age that God keeps my mind, maintain good health as much as I can, cuddling with his wife, holding hands, talking about how his day has been, window shopping. Now, I will tell you, I am not a window shopper. If I do not have the money to buy something, I don't want to go look at it, but that's just me. All right, venting about family issues, or I like this one, just taking a drive with no agenda. Another gentleman said, I get manicures, pedicures. I use Mary Kay satin hands and other Mary Kay men's products. Now, I could go on and on with what the men said, but as you know, this session is only 30 minutes. So I have to get to our topics for tonight. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is the importance of self care. Self care, as you heard defined by the men who responded, it's about the manicures and the pedicures and all the things. However, no one mentioned one thing that I was looking for, and that is health care is also self care. If you separate the two words, self, that's you, care, self care means that you're taking care of you. One of the gentlemen that responded said, I just like some football because that's my time where I can just let off some steam. Specifically, he mentioned the Bears, go Bears. But he talked about how he spends so much time caring for others that that's when he gets his release. So, self care is caring for yourself, and healthcare is a part of that. As a healthcare professional, I believe in my annual physical exam. I believe in my breast screening. Now, Breast Cancer Awareness Month is in October. I personally get my mammogram in November, but I get it done every year. When I feel that something is going on with my body, I schedule an appointment with my primary care physician because in order to do the things that I want to do at the level that I want to do them, I have to care for myself. And so health care is a part of that. Another aspect of self care, and right now I'm just talking about the importance of self care. Another aspect is knowing your family history. I have taken the time to find out from my mother, my grandparents, my aunts, to find out what conditions run in my body, in my family. And one of the conditions that runs in my family, I actually mentioned it to my physician. Sure enough, I have it. And I'm getting therapy for it right now. That's self care, right? If I'm going to be the best version of me for everybody that I serve, I have to exercise self care. So, self care is important. you are illustrating that you have compassion for yourself. We do so much for jobs and friends and family. Exercising self compassion is so very, very important. When you neglect self care, it can lead to burnout, stress, and even breakdowns, which then decreases the quality of life. So when people say to me, you work too much, they're not with me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because this girl here knows when to shut down and get some rest because I know my body. And there are some times that my body shuts me down and I just follow the lead of my body and I get some rest. So, self care is not selfish. Some people think that if I do things to take care of myself, people think I'm being selfish and I'm neglecting them. That is far from the truth. So, my first point was the importance of self care. And I want to be very intentional about giving you my points because I want you to take notes, reflect, and put some of these into practice. Trust me. When I come on Wednesdays to talk about these different topics that I've scheduled for the year, I'm working on next year. Believe it or not, at the time that I'm presenting the topic, it literally hits home with me. So, like right now, it's 6:12 Central Time, and I've been in the office since about 6:30 Central. Once I log off live with you guys, I have one thing to do, and I'm going home and I am going to bed, right? So it'll be probably about 8 o'clock. I'll be in the bed because I know that in order for me to function at the level that I'm functioning at, I have to get rest. There was a time in my life where I couldn't get rest. And that was the time when I was working full time, going to school full time, then dealing with my special needs daughter, and then trying to do my homework. That part of my life, I wasn't able to get as much rest as I needed. I did pace myself, but now that that part of my life is over, I am intentional about my rest and my self care. All right, the second topic, or actually topic number three, is really about identifying your self care needs, right? So, when I told you about all the things that the gentleman told me, those were the things that they identify. So, I want to see in the chat, what do you all consider self care for you? Self care, and I'll continue to watch the chat, but self care is more than just a buzzword. I think during the pandemic, we heard self care as this, flavor of the month, if you will. But I personally have been exercising self care for a very long time. Why? I care about me, but I also care about those who I'm responsible for. My special needs daughter, right? My husband, my children, my grandchildren. I can't care for them if I don't care for the most important person, which is me. So, self awareness as it relates to your own self care is key. If you take a few minutes and say to yourself, when was the last time I did something for me? And I want to be clear that self care does not always cost a lot of money. Self care could be taking some time for you, writing down your thoughts, your dreams, your aspirations. That's a form of self care. Spending some time alone. You could take a walk. You could, and this may sound crazy, you could sit in a closet and close the door and have some time. And if you have a chaotic life, self care may be when you just go in the bathroom, and sit on the toilet and just zone out for 5 minutes. You have to allow yourself an opportunity to breathe. When you understand what your self-care needs are, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, then you can align your self-care needs properly. All right, so that was my next topic. All right, so and let's see, I got to watch the time. So, what are some strategies for prioritizing self-care? We're all busy, right? You have to schedule it. Now, the cell phone is more than just Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, right? All of those things. I use my cell phone to schedule my self care. My personal basic self care needs involve exercise, going to the doctor, my physical health, my mental health, my oral health, my visual health, right? Because if I don't take care of all of these things, I can't be the best version of myself. And I don't know about you, but I got a lot of things that I want to do for the next 50 years of my life. And I have to take care of myself so that I can do those things. Time management is important and setting boundaries. Sometimes people will hijack your time and you've got to take it back. One of the things that I do on my calendar is I block out time for me where it says no meetings, right? I block out time for lunch. Why? I owe me to have compassion for myself. So if you're on a job and you have an Outlook calendar, you've got to block off some time for you because people will definitely steal your time and you'll look up and you realize that you have not done anything for you. So there's going to be some barriers, right? There are going to be times in your life where you won't be able to do self care as much as you may do in other times. But self care could be maybe you want to take a class. It could be a boxing class, it could be a karate class. Maybe you want to read a book. Those are all forms of self care. There's going to be those barriers that try to, again, hijack your time, but you have to set some boundaries and really figure out what you enjoy. I don't know about you, but I love to rediscover me. And the reason that I have to rediscover me is because I spend so much time helping others that occasionally I allow myself to get lost. And when I rediscover me, find out what I enjoy and also identify some things that I haven't done before that I may want to try and I may figure out that I actually like them. So I'm open minded and I continue to explore things to help me grow. Hey, speaking of grow, if you have not had an opportunity to purchase my new book, Grow With Me, I'll drop the QR code here and you can purchase a copy by scanning the QR code with your cell phone, or you can go to drlisalcampbell.org and purchase your copy today. All right, on to the next topic. So I talked about overcoming the barrier, so we can just move on from that. My next topic is about that mind body connection. Sometimes, if your mind isn't connected with your body, you're going to experience challenges with mental health. And I'm talking about me from experience. When I just kept going, mentally, I was suffering. And so I had to stop and ensure that I was exercising my self care routines, reading books. I am always reading a book because when I read a book, it allows me to just zone out from everyone else. And I get to learn some new things, some new words in my day to day routine. When we talk about that mind body connection, there are a couple of activities you can do to help with that mental health: yoga and meditation. If you have an Apple Watch, on my Apple Watch, it will tell me, hey, take a minute and just breathe. All of those are so important because I don't know about you, but during the day, I'm just trying to get through my list of things to do. That if I don't pause and just take a deep breath, I find that I'm burning the candle at all ends. I guess that's what they say. And it makes me even more tired. All right, next up. So we talked about the mind body connection. Oh, we're almost done. Um, Building resistance. So, one activity for self care is exercise. And I talked about this probably 2 weeks ago. One of the things I found about me, if I don't exercise in the morning before I turn on that computer, I'm not likely to exercise in the evening. And so, in order to build the resistance in that particular area, A, it has to be on my calendar. B, I have to get up in the morning and do it. And I challenge myself to do just a little bit at a time. And I continue to build that resilience. Think about, it's football season, right? Go Bears. If you think about athletes, they are constantly exercising and strategizing to become the best athlete, the position that they play, the best in that classification. That's the same thing that we have to do with resilience. My last topic, and I may end early tonight: self care is for a lifetime. It is not something that's the flavor of the month, the flavor of the week, that you do today because it seems like something good to do. It's something that you have to ensure that you plan for and you hold yourself accountable for. And guess what? If you can't hold yourself accountable, get an accountability partner. I have friends that I'll screenshot, hey, this is my exercise for today. And that in turn, they'll respond and say, okay, let me get up and exercise, right? So you need to make it where it's more than just a one time endeavor. And some things that you try for self care, you may find you don't like them. That's okay. You tried it, you don't like it. Try something else. But it is a lifelong journey. Well, I guess I was very good with my time today. And let's see if there's somebody in the chat. Hello to everyone who is joining live. Next week, I will resume with some guests. We are top of September, and before you know it, it will be December. So let's see who's here live. Where are you all checking in from? Let me see what's going on over in the chat. All right. So we got some folks that are saying hello to you all as well. Well, guess what? This is a record because I finished New Jersey. Yay. I was in New Jersey one time and I was so lost. I don't know, it's something about that East Coast driving that is it's kind of interesting for me. All right, we got some other folks chiming in from Chicago. So listen, hey, and one of the folks that was chiming in from Chicago, she's going to kill me if I don't say this because she inboxed me and said this the other day. You got to tell folks to like and subscribe. So listen, we are streaming on Facebook at Dr. Lisa L. Campbell. We are streaming on LinkedIn at Dr. Lisa L. Campbell. We are streaming live on YouTube on 2 channels. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel at, you guessed it, Dr. Lisa L. Campbell and The Growth Motivator. It has been a pleasure to present another 30-minute growth session for you. And hey, let me just do a pulse check. Are you guys enjoying these 30-minute sessions? And you got some topics you want to hear for next year? This year is already planned out. I have every session scheduled until December. I have the speakers lined up. But if there's something that you want me to talk about during this 30-minute growth session, I definitely can do it. And I got some exciting news to tell you all about over the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned because you are going to enjoy some of my good news. I want to share some of my good things, the good things that are happening to me, for me, with you, because you all are my growth family. All right, guys. Well, it has
We would like to express sincerest appreciation to each one of you for joining us today. If you have any further questions or would like to connect with Dr. Campbell, please take a moment to scan the QR code on your screen. On behalf of Dr. Lisa L. Campbell and the entire team, we want to thank you once again for your participation. We hope you found today's event valuable and wish you a wonderful rest of your day.